Hello, everyone. So today we have Vamika Jhunjhunwala with us, who scored 98.32 percentile in LSAT. Hi, Vamika. Congratulations on your amazing result. Let's start with an introduction.
Thank you so much. Hi guys, I'm Vamika Jhunjhunwala and I gave the LSAT January attempt this year. I live in Delhi. However, I took coaching from Study Anchor, which is located in Faridabad. So I took online coaching from them and I took mentorship under Mudit sir.
So, Vamika, how did you get to know about us? Because I've seen most people going from Faridabad to Delhi for coaching, but it's pretty rare for people from Delhi to come to Faridabad.
Right. So one of my friends, Adanya Garg, who herself secured an 89 rank in CLAT last year, took coaching from here, and she recommended me this coaching institute, and that's how I got to know about it.
That is great. Vamika, please tell us a little bit more about LSAT India.
So LSAT India is a law entrance exam through which you can get admission into several law colleges, one of them being the Jindal Global Law School. So they have two attempts every year. One is in January and one is in June. So I appeared for the January attempt this year. They have 4 sections, and all that the LSAT exam judges is basically your skill set in the logic section, in the critical reasoning, analytical reasoning, and the verbal section. It's comparatively a non-arbitrary paper as opposed to the other law entrance exams, because you do not have any pre-required knowledge that you need to appear for that exam.
Now that we have talked about LSAT, let's talk about you. What was your reaction when you saw your result? Because it's an amazing result.
So when I saw the result myself, of course, I was on cloud nine. I was very happy. I felt confident. My parents were proud. So all in all, it was a great day for me. Especially after my disappointment for the CLAT results, I finally felt confident in myself.
That is awesome, Vamika. But how was your CLAT result?
So I got a 3071 rank for my CLAT results, and I was extremely disappointed since all of my mocks I used to score good, and I always thought that I'll be able to get into one of the top NLUs. So the day of the result was really disheartening for me all in all. But there were a lot of things that the CLAT exam taught me, and that helped me give my better performance in the LSAT exam afterwards.
How did you deal with that disappointment?
So I think I took a few days to cope up with the result, because after I saw it, I was extremely sad. I spoke to Mudit sir, and it took me some time. But after that, I just kept myself motivated. I kept myself surrounded by people who actually encouraged me into being the version of myself I actually aspire to be. So I did not lose hope in myself, and I continued preparing for the next exam that was coming up, which was LSAT India, and that's how I was able to keep myself motivated and clear the LSAT exam in January.
Vamika, that is commendable that you didn't let this incident weigh you down and you bounced back from it. That's great. Vamika, so I would like to know that what's the difference between LSAT and CLAT because I'm not much aware about this.
So even though LSAT and CLAT are both law entrance exams, and they are similar in terms of the skill sets that you require to give the exam, but the pattern of the exam is completely different. So
Okay.
while you have to strategize in CLAT in terms of time management, LSAT has provided you the time that you can devote to each section, after which you cannot come back to the section again. So it's important for you to be able to complete each of those sections in those 35 minutes itself. And while LSAT judges you on the basis of analytical reasoning, logical reasoning, and verbal reasoning, CLAT also has GK and quantitative aptitude in it. So LSAT does not require you to memorize anything prior to the exam. If you have the skill set that is required to give the exam, and if you can hone your skills over time, you will be able to clear the exam.
So since you gave both of the exams, do you think that the preparation also differs for both of them?
So as I said, I had already prepared for the CLAT exam, after which I planned to give my LSAT exam. So I think I did not face much of a problem with my preparation. So one thing that you require in the LSAT exam is to give one mock and then analyze that mock. So after you analyze that mock, you actually get to know where you stand, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what you have to work on and why you have to work on that. So, what is required in the LSAT exam is to be able to read long texts for longer periods of time and to be able to understand and comprehend them at the same time. Because after a point in time, you realize that you're reading the text, but you're not actually able to comprehend what's written in the text. So, once you're able to build that reading habit, and once you're able to build that habit within time constraints, while staying stress free, you will be able to clear the exam very well.
Wow, Vamika, I must say that you've really introspected well on all of these things and you have great knowledge about it. So apart from all of these technical things, who do you think that supported you in all of this journey and in that downfall with CLAT also? Who were the people who were there for you at all times?
So, of course, firstly, I'd like to thank my parents for that and my family. So, none of them felt the need to tell me that if I couldn't do CLAT, I won't be able to do LSAT as well. They kept me motivated, and that helped me overcome all of these things. Also, I'd like to thank my mentor, Mudit sir. And apart from that, I'd also like to thank my friends and, of course, at last, myself for not quitting on myself and keeping myself motivated.
Yes, Vamika, having the right people around you is so important, and luckily you had them right by your side. Lastly, any tips that you would like to give to people who will be giving LSAT in the future, and also LSAT which is going to happen in June from your own experience?
Yeah. So my first tip for them to would be to stay consistent in whatever they do. So when you prepare, you have those phases when you don't really want to work on yourself. But I think when you prepare for an entrance exam, it's important for you to be motivated and to be consistent in your preparation overall. Secondly, it's extremely important for you to give the mocks, but after giving the mocks, what is more important is to analyze them and analyze them correctly so that you score better in the next mock and even on the exam day. And the third tip that I like to give, which is the most important tip of all, is that on the day of the exam, you have to go to the exam stress free. You have to stay positive and stay calm. You have to believe in the preparation that you've already done. But at the same time, don't take the paper too casually. So there has to be a balance between healthy and unhealthy stress, of course.
Those are some great tips, Vamika. And thank you so much for joining us today, because as a person who doesn't really come from this background, this law background, even I got so many insights on these exams, on LSAT, on CLAT. Thank you so much for joining us today. It was great having this conversation with you.
Thank you for having me.